Can we start with the meeting? It's 2 minutes past 3. Justin?
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and everyone. Chairperson, 2 minutes. I'm just trying to reconnect members from the previous meeting.
Okay.
I think, but I can see Office of the Premier is here. I can see, yeah. Office of the Premier is here. I can see, yeah, Maradu from us. Mate is here. Yeah, Chairperson.
Yes.
Mukhonyana is still trying to connect and must come. But otherwise, Honorable Ratsilani, Honorable Pala, Honorable Mate, yeah, they are here. I'm not sure if Office of the Premier, they are ready. As I can only see Ndave, Klaelo, Magwaza. Let me try to.
Can you start, Justina? It's 6 minutes past now.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We can start with the meeting.
Okay. Did Honorable Mukhonyana manage to connect?
Let me see, because I've tried to.
No, they'll join. It's fine. Yeah, maybe
Okay.
start. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me declare the meeting officially open, and good afternoon, the Office of the Premier, officials and honorable members. Let's start with the meeting. Ms. Mohashwa, if we can go to number 2 on roll call and apologies, and to the Office of the Premier, our apology for the delay, because I can see you have connected in time. I'm sorry for that. Ms. Mohashwa, on roll call and apology.
Thanks, Honorable Chair, honorable members, and our colleagues from the Office of the Premier. We received an apology from the DG, who has indicated that he won't be part of the meeting due to other commitments, but he made a commitment that the team of his team will come and brief the committee. The DDGs will come and brief the committee. Thanks, thanks, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. And on our side, because we only talk about the Office of the Premier.
Okay, thanks, Chair. My apologies, since you are from the other meeting. So we do have an apology from Honorable Muchadi, who's conducting oversight with the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture in Bapala.
Honorable member, apologies, confirmation of the agenda, business of the day, briefing by the Office of the Premier on the 2020-2021 fourth quarter performance report on special progress, comments and input, and the closure. Honorable members, can any one of you confirm the agenda?
I move for the confirmation of the agenda, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Paula. Any seconder?
Chairperson, thanks. I second the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you, Honorable Mati. We are on number 4, business of the day. 4.1, briefing by the Office of the Premier on the 2020-2021 fourth quarter performance report on special programs. Over to you, Office of the Premier.
Good afternoon, honorables. It seems like we've got 2 parallel links. Ms. Manamela seems to be on another line. I'm assisting her to come into this.
Good morning, Chair.
Good afternoon.
It's Lailo.
Oh, good afternoon, that is Lailo.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Are you fine in Tatisalelo?
I'm fine. It's just blind people don't see whether it's morning or it's afternoon.
I know you can sense you're joking. Okay, now let's wait for Ms. Manamela. Ms. Mugasho. Ms. Mugasho, Justina.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I think officials from the Office of the Premier, banally, somehow others have got connection problems. But Ms. Ramokgopa is here, Chairperson. If you can allow her to make a presentation.
No, it's fine. Let me, Ms. Ramokgopa to continue if there's a problem with her.
If you can allow Ms. Ramokgopa to make a presentation.
No, it's fine.
So that we can move. Okay.
She can do the presentation. Ms. Ramokgopa?
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Chairperson. Will they be able to flag the presentation to me? Mama Namela is trying to get in now. Unfortunately, we had a wrong link because we were in the other link.
Okay, it's fine. Justina, can the IT people able to reflect the presentation?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Justina, do they have the presentation with them, the IT?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. So, Renele said doesn't have the presentation. She requesting that if the Office of the Premier do have the presentation, so that we give them the rights to can flag the presentation.
Yes, you can give us the rights. I'll flag it now.
Okay. No, it's okay. Thanks, Honorable Chair. Ms. Ramokgopa and Ms. Tlajile's got the rights to can flag the presentation. Thanks.
Okay. Ms. Ramokgopa, over to you.
I flagged it. There it is.
Can see it.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members and colleagues. I'm going to present the fourth quarter report.
Yeah, okay, Okay.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. I'm going to present the fourth quarter report to the members. I'll start with the first indicator. We're supposed to compile a comprehensive analysis report showing the extent of departments having mainstream disability programs. We have done that. The outcome is that 6 departments still maintains 2%. Which is the Office of the Premier, LEDED, Transport, Department of Social Development, and Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. And the 4 departments also, they are still maintaining the overall 2% employment of people with disabilities, which is Sports, Arts and Culture, DSD, Office of the Premier, and Agriculture. Coming to disability mainstreaming, all departments except Department of Health, they are still have dedicated focal persons. The challenge with health, chairperson, they are not moving in terms of making sure they have a vocal person to make sure coordination is done in a coordinated way in the department. Unfortunately, since the COVID, it was difficult for the department to make sure they maintain that status of having a coordinated person. And then stabilities and the final supported entrepreneurship empowerment project funded by Department of Labor to the tune of 14 7%. What we have done up to now, we have established a forum of entrepreneurs with disabilities and LIDET and provincial to align the provision of services to people with disability in terms of procurement. And then on the awareness for the programs, we had an awareness on the nation building program, which was successfully coordinated for school awareness campaigns. And then this was implemented in Stutulwani, Asiphumeleni, Rivoni, and Helen Franz Special School. These schools were visited and the learners were given words of encouragement to make sure also they feel they are also part of the mainstreaming. And then on birth registration program, we were able to reach the target of 22,814 births during January and February 2021, which were registered within the 30 days turnaround time, and 1,976 were outside the 30 days turnaround time. And in terms of taking a girl child to work, we were able to monitor that. So as an office, we were able to work with the pupils from France, RANPC, from Vembe District, and also Mutlani Technical High School from Skupine District. Then access to social security services. Even though during COVID, we were able to improve on this area, Chairperson. On child support grant, we have moved. I'm sorry, Chairperson. My colleague is running the slide the other way around. It's very difficult for me now to go through the report. So in terms of CSG, we were able to move from 1.983507 to 1.990906 in February 2021. And then on foster care grant, we improved from 32,156 to 33,645. And where we had a decline is on the care dependency grant, where we have a decline from 16,293 to 16,277. And still on awareness for nation building programs, we have facilitated human rights awareness to older persons at Waterberg and Sekhukhune, reaching out 80 older persons during March 2021. The same with community-based service centers. We were able to monitor residential facilities for older persons, with the results that there are 6 privately owned facilities and 1 government-owned that benefit 757 older persons. In terms of access to social security services, again, in terms of older persons, the number has declined from 489,683 to 488,187. War Veterans Grant remained at 2 for December 2020, and in February it was still the same number. And then unemployment equity, we have monitored these targets in the province, and 6 departments are over 40%, while 4 are still below 40% of women at SMS level. Dudu, can you take it up? And then on gender mainstreaming, also we had a successful nation building programs, which the activities was the celebration of International Women's Day. Which was done on the 8th of March, which we were able to also communicate to most virtual platforms in the province through the Facebook and Twitter and Microsoft Teams. And we also celebrated Human Rights Day on the 21st of March, which was also done through visual, where the Premier of the province was the one who was giving the address to the citizens of Limpopo. And then on empowerment, coordinated the program in all the 5 districts, reaching out at 600 women, which are owning companies, and capacitated them on strategies to access procurement services in terms of residential 40%, and then target women for which we have targeted for women empowerment. And then on victim empowerment centers, we have coordinated monitoring and evaluation of 8 centers during the 4th quarter. So regarding the sanitary dignity program, chairperson and members, we were able to monitor the program throughout the province, where Department of Education is the main coordinator. The contractor has been appointed together with the subcontractor. The focus was to provide the 183,000 indigenous in the 10 educational districts. Internally, 64 employees were offered bursaries, of which 34 are females and 30 are males. And in terms of external learners, we were able to enroll 36 in various higher education institutions, which is 22 females and 14 males. And then on youth development, we were able to monitor the implementation of the Limpopo Youth Development Strategy in line with the function department. And then on Pillar 1, we were able to profile all youth development structures and institutions in 11 sector departments and 5 districts, and also 22 local municipalities. During this quarter, we were also able to deliberate and the review of the NDY bill. And then still on Pillar 2, on employability, we were successfully coordinated the establishment of the Provincial Steering Committee on the review of the electronic digital database. And we were able to solicit CVs from Department of Education to be incorporated in the provincial database. And then the unit also collected 175 new CVs for unemployed youth to be infused in the database. And then 50,052 unemployed youth recruited for the educator's assistant and general assistant at the various schools in the province due to the COVID programs in the Department of Education. And then in terms of job link, 170 of the 300 learners enrolled at MSC College in Polokwane on IT support and development gainfully employed through job placement. And then on internship program, 128 youth benefited 90 learnerships and 38 interns in line with the function departments. 3, on quality education and skills development. During back to school campaign, we were able to monitor the support offered by Youth Machinery on the monitoring of schools reopening and readiness as follows. During February on the 18th, the Baphala local municipality coordinated back to school campaign and distribution of calculators to grade 12 learners at Masiubona Secondary, Lebeko High School and Lepato High School. We also monitored the Baphala local municipality on COVID-19 compliance in Wisheni High School. And then in terms of awarding of bursaries, we facilitate the awarding of 64 youth in the province, where they were awarded by the Department of Foxta. And then on healthy productive adulthood, 32,022 psychosocial support services were rendered during the period of the lockdown. And then on social cohesion and nation building, we successfully coordinated the development of concept document for the celebration of the Youth Day celebration in Capricorn and Sekhukhune district. So that is all, chairperson and members, regarding the progress that we have made in the first quarter. My colleagues will be there to share with me when we are engaged on questions and comments from the committee. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ramakgopa. Honorable members, are there any comments, questions, clarity? Honorable Phala, Honorable Razilani, let's start with Honorable Phala and Honorable Mati. Okay, Honorable Phala.
Thanks, Chairperson. I welcome the presentation by the Office of the Premier. I just have a few questions and clarity-seeking ones. On the Regardie Sanitary Towel Program, when we went through and we were briefed earlier on by our research and all that, the service provider is coming from outside of the province with one local youth company as a subcontractor on the sanitary program. I'm not against the service provider coming out of the province, but I would just like for them to really take this committee into confidence as to how did we really reach that point of getting someone from outside the province. Does it really mean that we don't have capacity or anyone within the province to roll out that? I understand the program in itself, Sanitary Towels, it's quite a complex one. So maybe if they can explain as to what motivated this decision to choose a service provider outside of the province. And the issue, yes, still on that, if they can also further explain how will the distribution of the sanitary towels work, because previously as a committee we did recommend the distribution of sanitary towels. You find, Lauren, they were just giving once-off sanitary towels in high schools or primaries, and then they pass. We want to know, will it be monthly or a once-off that covers a year, or they will be done in 6 months or what? Maybe they can just explain their program to us, the rolling out of it, how it will work. And perhaps request an update on the status of the special school infrastructure in the province. I think we did have a resolution in one of the meetings that this should be an update every time we meet. On the assistive devices backlog, we saw the breakdown that was there. But for me, Chairperson, I'm quite interested into if they can provide a report into maybe go and conduct a backlog that is there in special schools. I raised this issue because this week on social media, we noted the Letaba special schools. Will check matata to balance. So I think the same way that the Office of the Premier conducted resource and infrastructure backlog at the special school, they must go and conduct this backlog in special schools, the wheelchair, the crashes, and everything that is needed, so that we can really see if we are assisting or making environment of special learners a better place in So this one does not necessarily need an answer now. They can just give us a report for our next meeting, because I don't think they would have the numbers in place now. On the issue of, they mentioned a program of the girl child, just a suggestion that perhaps the Office of the Premier, when they do their brainstorming and meetings, they should also look into having a program that also includes the boy child somewhere, somehow, looking at the gender-based violence cases spiking up and what we are seeing in the province. I think maybe as government, it is time that we also take care of the boy child so that we groom them into the future, so that they know how to behave and exist in a world that also includes the girl child. I think in one of the reports previously, it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to attend other meetings, but it was mentioned that I think 3 departments within Limpopo only have a sexual harassment policy. It was reported that. So I think the Office of the Premier should make a follow-up on this, so that all departments have a sexual harassment policy in place, so that we can move forward as a province. If they can further update us as to how far is the women economic empowerment strategy, because previously I think it was still a draft. If they can tell us, Lauren Batla if we are nearing so that we know what is what. That is all for now, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Phala. Honorable Rosalan.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and let me join Honorable Phala in welcoming the presentation by the Office of the Premier. I'm going to be very much brief, Chair, particularly because Honorable Phala has touched a number of issues that I was about to raise. But safe to indicate, Chair, one of the key responsibility of the Portfolio Committee is to ensure that we have effective and efficient government. And we can only achieve that, Honorable Chair, if the provincial government don't deviate from the programs and budget adopted by the House. We are a committee representing interest of vulnerable groups in the province. And sometimes it's hurting, Honorable Chair, particularly because we also conduct oversight by ensuring that we visit some of the centers. It's hurting sometimes to realize that even in areas where we have funded programs, we fail to achieve the targets. Honorable Phala has touched on a number of issues because if you take terms of the report of the previous quarters, we still receive a report where you also realize that even some of the targets we are still failing, particularly on this one of non-compliance with equity employment. If you check with previous quarters, Honorable Chair, you will see that really we seem to be struggling as the provincial government. And also the issue of the youth directorate, I think Honorable Phala touched on it, the delay on the policy issue. How long is it going to take for the Office of the Premier to ensure that we have this policy so that we also assist when it comes to issues of youth development? The implementation of sanitary dignity program, we find ourselves as the provincial government to run with speed in terms of making sure that really we provide these services to our people. So it's sometimes, Honorable Chair, we have to make sure that we highlight areas where, as the committee, we realize that Office of the Premier, together with departments, they are not moving with speed to ensure that our people benefit when it comes to services that are supposed to be rendered to them. Through your leadership, we have visited a number of victim empowerment centers. And when the presenter was still on the platform, she indicated that they conducted evaluation in these centers. What is it that they have discovered in these centers? Because if I may also give one issue, which was a only issue to us as public representatives, it's when we were visiting some of these victim empowerment centers where you find that the Department of Social Development is failing to pay stipends to people who are managing these centers, people who are trying to assist those who are vulnerable, those who are supposed to be benefiting through these centers when it comes to government services. And we want the Office of the Premier to really try and check with the Department of Social Development how best can we address this, because when we were checking with officials who were there representing the department and the district, the indication was that everything is centered at the provincial office. And when it comes to releasing these resources, it becomes very difficult. So what is the use for us as honorable members to go to the legislature, adopt these annual performance plans together with the budget? But when it comes to the implementation part of it, especially when it comes to the vulnerable groups in our society, those who cannot even rise and say we're going to make sure we are challenging this government, we are found wanting. So if they can give us clarity, Honorable Chair, on some of the issues that we are highlighting, I think we will be able to understand why all these delays. Why are we not moving with speed? So much as we appreciate the effect coming with the COVID-19 pandemic, but there are other areas where we can really improve in terms of coordination of this department. Thanks, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Razilani. Honorable Mate.
Thanks, Chairperson, and good afternoon to fellow honorable members and the officials from the Premier's office. Chairperson, let me start with this issue of the issue of finalizing the establishment of the economic empowerment strategy, the crafting of the strategy itself. I want to know, when is this strategy going to be finalized? That's my first question. And the second question on that one is, who were consulted in crafting this strategy? Number two, There is this issue of saying they've collected 175 CVs from our youth. I want to know what avenues are they using in order for the general public to know that they must submit CVs to whatever office that, or is Premier's office, I don't know, or all the departments, I don't know. And again, the third question is, how often do they visit, or how often do they monitor this department, the labor department? Because there are problems with this department. The labor department do not go down to the workers, like they don't go. When you go to farm areas, they will tell you they don't know, or there's this office called Department of Labor. They will only know of this office when they go and collect money for blue card. So want to know when often do they go and monitor this department? Again, there's this issue of Department of Health, Honorable Chairperson, failing to appoint a focal person, this issue of women or disability, whatever. This issue has been here since 5 years back, even today it's here, and there's nothing moving. So I want to check whether the Premier's office is unable to tell this department to do what is correct or not now. And there is this issue which I think I've got an interest on, the issue of the structure that they've started, the entrepreneurship for people with disability. I want to know if there's a board that is leading that structure. So want to know this structure so that when there are things that affect people with disability will go straight to this board. Then the other issues, the birth registration, Honorable Chairperson, they say they've given us the numbers, which I accept because this is the numbers that they are telling us. But this issue of registration, birth registration, Chairperson, when going to schools, we've got problems. There are many children without documents. So when they are saying they are registering them, so why are people, small children at the primary level are without documents? I'm not talking about foreigners here. I'm talking about both foreigners and people and children from South Africans. They don't have documents, most of them. Here they're talking about this number. So I want to know these numbers, are they taking these numbers from hospitals or from Home Affairs? I don't know. But there are many learners who are without documents. And then the issue of taking a girl child to work. I just want to know, is this campaign benefiting these girls? Because to me, when they talk about two regions, it means sometimes when they know that next month is taking the girl child to work, they'll go to a certain person or certain people to say, take these children to work or do what. Because if this was binding, all the regions, we were supposed to have reports from all the regions to say, in these regions, 10 girls were taken to work by whoever, but here they talked about only 2 regions. And then the care dependency grant, they are saying it has declined. So they've not given us a reason why. What causes this declining? And again, the sanitary towel, I'm happy for now because the primary schools that I visited, what they told us about this, they said they gave a child 3 packets. Then the child will be given another 3 packets after a quarter. They are giving them quarterly. So they even show us, these are the packages, we've seen them. But the only thing I'm not happy because this issue is like others are getting, others are not getting. But if you are falling under quintile 1 to 3 schools, it means you were all supposed to get these sanitary towels because those schools, the quintile 1 to 3, are for poor people, not for people that can afford to buy those. Because people that can buy this, their children are at school that start from quintile 4 to 5 and 6. Then the last one, Honorable Chairperson, is this, the appointment of assistant workers at school for COVID-19 from the COVID-19 Relief Fund. We were happy by that time, the 4th quarter, yes, they were there. but they terminated. These people were terminated, saying that there's no money. And when you go to schools, you cannot enter their toilets. You cannot enter their school surroundings because these people have been terminated. So I want to check what the Premier's office is doing about this thing, because we know it's a national initiative, but if they can humbly go and plead with the president to say, as Limpopo, because we are poor, if they can give us another money to can appoint these people, because you cannot enter from other schools, I'm telling you. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Mati. Mokhanyane, do you have anything? Okay, maybe before the response, if Honorable Mokhanyane hasn't had anything to say, I think I also wanted to check with the issue of SAPO that lately they've just announced that SAPO, they're planning to close some post offices countrywide. So we just wanted to check with the Office of the Premier, how will the social grant beneficiaries be affected with this thing when the SAPO is announcing to close some of the post offices. So I think this is only one that, and my concern, well, honorable members have already alluded that with the issue of sanitary towels. Maybe if we can, I can also check. The honorable members have already said, talked about the issue of sanitary towels, that the schools are getting sanitary towels, I think, once maybe in 6 months. So I just wanted to check how many packets per each student, those that are getting those sanitary towels. And I think maybe if we can also check how many packets per child. The packets because we find that some people were saying we're getting 3 packets. So I don't know if it's 3 packets per month or per quarter or what. Maybe I just need some clarity there from the Office of the Premier. I think with that, I think I'm okay. Ms. Ramokgopa, maybe you can respond to from Honorable
and honorable members in the questions. I'll start with the one on the service provider for the sanitary towels. The information that we got from Department of Education, they took time to get a suitable service provider in the province in terms of the processes, because most of the applicants were not qualifying. That's why at the end of the day they had to go out of the province. But what they did, they made sure the subcontractor is a service provider within the province, which they have subcontracted about 30% of the total contract. And then the other issue is on the infrastructure. Honorable members will remember in the last financial year, we were still having challenges in terms of starting with the construction of the identified special schools. They have started now with Rivoni School for the Blind. The only challenge they are having is that the value of the building is around 400 million. they've now committed 200 million for the current financial year, so that the other part of the completion of the building, they will have to get from the budget from the next financial year. So what they did in the Asiphumeleni in Sekhukhune, they've allocated mobile classrooms and also mobile hostels, so that in the meantime they can utilize them. Whereas the process of doing planning for the building is on, including retouching at Ramadlala. They also provided the mobile classrooms and the hostels. So currently they are also looking at Sututulwani, because it's also one of the areas that they were able to identify a site. They are busy also with the finalization of the site's preparation, so that they can start with the planning of the infrastructure. So what they have done, they've also developed a plan as a department to make sure they are able to deal with all the special schools that are not complying in terms of the infrastructure challenges. So I'll request my colleagues to deal with the other issues. Memanamela and colleagues, can you assist me with the other questions from the committee? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and greetings to honorable members and the support staff, legislature support staff, and colleagues from OTP. Maybe just to add to what the DDG has already said on the sanitary dignity program, the program is implemented by the Department of Education, and the budget. I just want to, add to what she has said. The budget allocation for the program is around 34 million, and the department, because of the way they struggle to get a service provider, then applied a pre-qualifying criteria for this bid in terms of the preferential procurement regulations. And as the DD has already said, then a minimum of 30, that only tenderers subcontracting a minimum of 30% can then be appointed. They had a criteria to that effect, Honorable Chair. And I wouldn't want to go through it one by one, because I know that we had already submitted these responses to the honorable members. And only one service provider then qualified up in terms of the criteria that was set up. And unfortunately, it's the service provider is not from our province. Now, on the number of sanitary pads that are or towels that are given to schools, I believe that I would support what Honorable Mate said, that according to the information from the Department of Education and our special program section in the office, the learners are given one packet per month, which translates to 3 packets per quarter. But if there are areas where honorable members discovered that that is not done, would appreciate the information so that we can make follow-ups, because according to the reports that we get from the department, that is what they do. Now, on the youth matters, Honorable Chair, I would prefer the newly appointed director to speak to all the questions that are related to the youth section. As I leave, I will say we accept the comment on the victim empowerment centers because this is not a question from Honorable Man, it's a concern. And as Office of the Premier, we will try and engage the Department of Social Development because the honorable members during their inspection or outreaches discovered that things were not as they appear on the stated reports. So this one we will have to look into and then bring back a report to honorable members. I can pause here and allow the youth sections to then speak to the questions that are relevant to youth. Then we can add where we can add. I believe that Mpho Bola has connected. Mpho?
No, thanks, Honorable Chairperson and other honorable members in the DDG. Chairperson, I logged late because I was having a challenge with the link, so I missed the questions. If they could be perhaps reiterated, just I can quickly deal with them.
Honorable Chair, maybe let me come in. We will try and find a way of sending the questions to him right now. Okay. If we can allow other colleagues maybe to then respond to certain questions. Okay. We will try to, yeah. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay. From the Office of the Premier. Okay.
Yes, Honorable Chair, maybe let me come back then. Because I'm looking at, other questions which I consider to be concerns, especially with the other one that was posed by Honorable Phala on assistive devices backlog. She actually said that the office should provide a report on these assistive devices in terms of the backlog. So on this one, Honorable Chair, we will make sure that that report is submitted by the office. On the girl child and boy child, the question was why not include boy child, during these sessions. And Honorable Chair, we do include the boy child, especially because on the report they're talking about Office of the Premier. Office of the Premier does that. We did that last year. We included the boy child, and we've been doing it throughout. As we invite the girl child, we also include the boy child for the same reasons that most of the time they are the ones who turn out to be abusers. On the sexual harassment policy, it said that some departments don't have this sexual harassment policy. I believe that we would then have to compile a report in terms of which departments do not have a sexual harassment policy, and make sure that we strengthen this part, because we are unable to deal with gender-based violence if departments do not have sexual harassment policy. But we'll make sure that we make a follow-up on this one. And issues, but I think are related to the rights of these abused women. That they are appalling, and the office has, and the Premier himself is actually, making this. I think, if I'm not wrong, it's in the EXCO. I can't say it's a standing item, but it's discussed frequently, and even letters were written to these departments to say you need to really, pull up your socks and comply with the director, the remaining ones. That the Director for Youth will then have to deal with. But I thought that we have Tate Slilo. If Tate Slilo will then respond to birth registrations and the other part on grants. But in the meantime, Honorable Chair, I will try to assist.
Chairperson, Honorable Chairperson, and members. There's a question relating to post office or closing some of its offices. In the province, there are 4 post offices that are, I think they are still functioning, but they are just closed for social grants distribution. It's Savannah, it's Ladana, it's Seshego, and it's 1 points. It means they don't have high service recipients in terms of these grants. I'm sure the first 3 that I've mentioned, they are all around town. So it means they are competing with the one in Landros and others. But SASSA has indicated that majority of beneficiaries are accessing their grants from ATMs and supermarkets. That's what they told us. The second question is about school assistive devices. There are 2 types of assistive devices. There are assistive devices that are provided for by Department of Education. Those will be braille machines and related. And then the ones that Honorable Member has mentioned around the Tawa School, especially wheelchairs. Wheelchairs are provided by Department of Health, and normally schools would liaise with the nearest hospital, and in case of Letaba school, it will be Letaba Hospital. So we will check what is wrong, because the school management of Letaba is the one that must arrange. It's not parents, it's not children themselves, but the school management must arrange the issuing of assistive devices from the hospital, the nearby hospital. There's another question. The Forum of Entrepreneurs with Disabilities, it has got a committee. They don't call it a board. It has got a committee.
They also achieve their economic emancipation. Targeted groups should not be closed out. Allocated resources should also be utilized.
We must just follow up with other departments. Wishy-washy answers. One went to us, Phumelele Special School. The office of the Premier, less than 500 meters from the old premises, Kadijo Fisher in a wheelbarrow to where Babileng the mobile class. Only little word loud diganage, and we are talking of special learners. The toilets there, the service provider, if they are not picked up on time. So can we, when we talk or we ask about special schools, we are not attacking anyone. As a committee, we are trying to ensure those learners have a better environment. So the Office of the Premier must just assist us with honest answers, because after we meet with them as committees, like you said, we do go on oversight visit ourselves to check if all this is true. The issue of the Letaba Special School that was raised, Chairperson, we are a committee that deals with special schools and disabilities and all that. We cannot receive an answer that says the Department of Education deals with that. The Office of the Premier is responsible for this monitoring of such. We've requested a report on the assistive devices of wheelchairs and all that within the special schools specifically. It is their responsibility to go and talk or liaise with the relevant department. Previously, we asked a report on the backlog or vacancy rate within special schools. We received it. We were not given a school. Special school is responsible to do that. When they monitor, they should check, Lauren, are the principals fit for purpose now in those special school? Are they following the right channels of reporting things now? And they must go and see what is going on. We've raised it. Them as the Office of the Premier, together with the relevant department, must go there and check what is happening and come back to us as a committee to report. They must not tell us, Lauren, it is under that. We are talking to them. They should go engage with the relevant department and come back and report to us. Thanks, Chairperson. That's all.
Thank you, Honorable Phala. From our side, honorable members, do you still have something? If none from the Office of the Premier, do you still have something? Right.
Honorable Chair, I think except to say that we apologize for shifting responsibility. Thank you.
No, and to the Office of the Premier, and every time when you respond, as Honorable Phala is saying, I think it will be good if the answers still already correct. That thing of shifting the blames to other people, I mean, is the responsibilities to other people, then it gives us a serious problem. So, and I think as the chairperson of Quality of Life, let me thank the response from honorable members and from the Office of the Premier. And I will suggest that from the Committee on Quality of Life, I will suggest that the officials, if they can start preparing for us to go and do oversight to special schools. And for that, let me thank everyone, the officials, Office of the Premier, honorable members, and I think we are done with our meeting, and let me officially close the meeting if there is nothing from the officials. Let me check with officials if there's anything from the officials before I close.
Honorable Chair and members, we just want to thank the members regarding the discussions we had today. We will try as an office to make sure we follow up all those issues that we have been requested by the members of the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Officials?
Thanks, honorable members and colleagues. I think on our part, we are fine. We are happy. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Office of the Premier. Let's go and work and make sure that everything that you are saying here, it must not just be a talk. Let's go and implement and make sure that we change the life of our people. And with this words, thank you very much, honorable members and the Office of the Premier and our officials. The meeting is officially closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thanks, Honorable Chair.
No, thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Some other projects.